There is something anthropological about water that people get. They get that it is a magic commodity, that it's something they know they should be worried about. It is a tribal commodity. The people with whom we share water are us. The people who are trying to take our water away are them. And usually that's one state versus another, but in a circumstance like this, I think people on the river see us in central Arizona as the them.
I refer to Cibola, Arizona as kind of like its own diamond in the rough, so to speak. The Colorado River runs right through there. It's surrounded by cotton fields and a lot of alfalfa that grows down there. And I think it's maybe has a population a little over 300, so it's a very small knit community. And we've been there for 26 years and I love it.
Cibola is an unusual little pocket that is in Arizona, but the only very easy way to get there without four-wheel drive and going over a mountain is to go into California and come back across the Colorado River into the Cibola area. GSC Farms is owned by a company called Greenstone, and Greenstone buys agricultural property. They buy it both for its real estate value and for the value that the water has.
Greenstone is a product of a hedge fund group that's looking to capitalize on buying and selling water rights and moving water rights in the West.
Queen Creek is an up-and-coming community in the southeast valley of Maricopa County and the northwest portion of Pinal County. It's a very vibrant community, a lot of young families, and it's one of the fastest growing communities, not just in the state of Arizona, but in the nation. About 99% of our water is all groundwater from a very large aquifer that Queen Creek resides over. Hopefully what you're doing is balancing the basin. So if you remove 10,000 acre feet of water, 10,000 acre feet is supposed to be returned to the aquifer through recharge projects. 10 years ago, the cost was about $240 an acre foot. The forecast is for it to go up well over $1,000 an acre foot. So we started to think that if we could control our own destiny, that we might be able to provide a more reliable supply of water at a reduced price to our residents.
It really is better water management and better water stewardship for the city to identify supplies, renewable water supplies, to meet current and future demand. And so it's not surprising that cities would be highly motivated to do that. It's also not surprising that there'd be a lot of resistance to having water moved off the river and wheeled through the CAP for delivery to those cities that want those supplies.
La Paz County has officially opposed this potential water transfer. It just seems like this is a big water grab from the metropolitan areas, and rural Arizona is being targeted.
Farmers use between 70 and 80% of the West's water. 1/3 of that irrigated water is with flood irrigation. Literally just turn on the tap and flood the field. It's very inefficient, and a lot of the irrigation water is used to grow low-value crops like alfalfa. So there's this kind of perfect storm of a need for the urban users to get a little more water. And when you talk about more water, the only place where the water is in the agricultural community.
If you're setting in the city, it's easy to say growing alfalfa is not a good use of water. Who's to say building more cardboard houses in the edge of Phoenix is a good use of water? To take water from agriculture production off of the Colorado River permanently forever and ever and move that water to other parts of the state to support growth. When's that going to stop? Are we going to completely wipe out ag production?
I think it highlights the big decision that we have to make as a state about how we grow and where we get the water for growth.
The history of Arizona and the history of the West is all about moving water around. Phoenix wouldn't be here if we didn't move water. Tucson would have dried up long ago.
And when the Western Arizona communities say that this is the camel's nose under the tent, I think what they're really saying is, we feel really vulnerable. And it's quite legitimate. There are good reasons why they feel vulnerable.
A slight reduction in agricultural consumption solves the municipal and industrial supply problem. So I think we need to have intelligent regulation by the state to ensure that the rural communities are protected, that the environment is protected. It has to be done sensibly, but sensible regulation is consistent with a certain amount of water marketing.
Without importing some new water sources into central Arizona, at the current rates of growth we've had, we probably have a decade or a little more left until we start bumping up against some fairly serious limits. The question of limits is a question of choices. This is all about how do you want to use the water you have.
We need to decide in this state, are we going to have a balance of valuable ag production versus growth in the cities? We can take all the water to the cities, but that doesn't mean they're going to grow forever. This particular transfer will be the starting point of us making a hard decision of what we're going to do in the future.
These kinds of transfers will happen. They will happen. It is inevitable that more water will move from a lower value use to a higher value use. People characterize that for years as being, in the West, water flows toward money. That is largely true. I prefer to say water flows toward people. Urban populations need water, and that is the history of the West.